Welcome guys, again here in Tech Resolver. Today we are going to cover something how to deploy a Mesos cluster with Marathon and Zookeeper, and there's a Mesos cluster which is configured by Mesos-Masters and the Mesos-Slaves. So you can see the architectures on the internet of Mesos. There's loads of architectures on Mesos, but we are following these these architecture Mesos-Masters. These two Mesos-Masters is on standby mode, and these three Mesos agents, which we call as a Mesos-Slaves, and this is a Zookeeper. There is a mentions. There is not mention with the Marathon, so we are going to use another. Yeah, this architecture is good. So I'm using only the one master and one slaves to give an overview of how to configure these architectures. In another video I will tell you for the complete details. And these are the frameworks which is scheduled, means whatever the applications you deploy on the Mesos-Master, it will be redirected to the particular slaves which is controlled by the zookeepers, and we are using only the one zookeeper. Okay, so we can also make the zookeeper clusters to make it zookeeper as in a standby mode. If one zookeeper is down, the another one is will take care of the services. Okay, so the same things will be happen with this Mesos-Masters where two Mesos-Masters in standby mode, where zookeeper have a complete information. So all the zookeepers servers have the configurations of all the three nodes and all the slaves and whatever the applications, means whenever the one zookeeper is down, it will hand over this tasks to the another zookeeper. Okay, so yeah, so this zookeeper knows which is the active node, means active node of Mesos-Master, and which are in this standby mode. Okay, so these Mesos-Masters is using some periodically assign a task to these slaves from these frameworks. Okay, so these frameworks, and this is in queue which is scheduled by the Mesos-Masters. Okay, so how to configure all this environment on your Docker container? So whenever we are using these are the architectures which is based on particular application servers. So you can create on a three application servers of Mesos-Masters and three Mesos-Slaves servers, and 3 4 zookeepers also, but I am maintaining in a one server, so I'm configuring with this only with Docker container. Okay, so Docker container is basically OS virtualizations which is use the minimal resources to run the applications. So you will get to know all the details of the Mesos and the Marathon and the Docker in my another videos. So here we go how to configure all the things, and this is my VMware uh, server, which is having a IP of internal IP of 192.168.225.146. So I'm going to take an SSH. This is an Ubuntu hostname, and 192.168.225.145, right? Okay, so fine, we are going to give SSH to this. Sorry, it's 146. My mistake. It's 146. Passwords. Here you are done. Sudo -i. If you don't know how to take SSH, you can watch my another video also, and it will describe you the complete details how to take an SSH sessions, and if you have an error related to that, you can also resolve this. Okay, so now, and I use the command sudo -i. It's basically for switching the account to the root, because my Ubuntu user have privileges of sudo, so I can either switch to the root. Okay, you can use the user also, but I don't want to use sudo again and again, and I didn't configure my sudo files, so it need to be done through a root. Okay, so oh, here there is an already installed the Docker version. Okay, you can get to know how to install the Dockers in my another video. Okay, so it's basically dedicated to the how to make the Mesos-Masters and clusters with Zookeepers with Marathon. So it will take a huge time. I'm using these videos for the minimum required time, so it will not hectic to anybody to watch. Okay, so I'm concentrating on the maximum practical time. So as you know, there is a no images running right now. So docker ps is the command which is used for the to find out the running docker processes, and docker ps minus a, it will list you all the dockers running, just like this is exited at 12 minutes ago with Zookeeper. Okay, so how to remove this particular, use the remove command. Zookeeper is the name of that, either you can give the container id or you can give the name of also. Okay, it is removed, so we are going to run again docker ps minus a. Here there's nothing now. Okay, so now how to use Zookeeper. Docker run command is basically used for run the images. Okay, so here we are going to find out the images. So as you know, we are I'm having already pulled the images from the server. How to pull the services from the docker pull and mesos. Okay, do one thing before that. If you don't know the particular name of that images, so you can search also. You can do mesosphere, mesos, it will search for you. As you know, here you are getting all the packages of mesosphere, mesosphere marathon, mesosphere, mesos-master, mesosphere, mesos-slaves, spark, aws cli. Okay, mesosphere, mesos also. Okay, and here we have a mesosphere marathon lab also. We are going to use marathon lab for WordPress in my another video. If you want to know how to use a WordPress within the marathon using the docker container. Okay, so mesosphere is main organizations which is giving all the packages for related to the mesos marathons to make an infrastructures. Okay, so you can use the docker pull mesos marathon space Mesos-Master space Mesosphere slave. Okay, and Mesosphere Zookeeper. So I'm not having the Zookeeper here with the Mesosphere, so here if I do these things, it will take the latest packages of my marathon, Mesosphere and Mesos-Slave. And there is an issue with this. You have to mention the particular version of it, because there are some issues with the packages of the latest. Okay, 1.4.2, and this is 1.4.2. Okay, when you do these things, it will docker pull exactly one argument at a time, so you cannot do the same thing again and again. Okay, so I'll tell you by one. You have to pull all the packages here, and when you do these things, it will contact to the server Docker hub and responding Mesos-Slaves not found. Okay, so I am using 1.4.1. Okay, sorry. So it is telling that your Docker image is up to date. For Mesosphere, Mesos-Slave is 1.4.1. It is already installed. So when you do these things, it will directly pull from the server. And if you have good internet connections, it will download in some 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. So here are the commands: Docker run, and do the same things with the Zookeeper also. Docker search Zookeeper. So here you are getting the Zookeeper. You can directly use the Zookeeper because it is officials, and you can directly pull the Zookeeper. Docker pull Zookeeper. It will finding the latest tag, means it is going to find out the latest Zookeeper, and now it is pulling to the Zookeeper. This is already exist, this is already exist, and this is downloading is complete. Okay, so it will happen with the same of all other the packages. And now wait for a while, and till now I will tell you uh, these are the commands. Okay, you can use the Docker Compose also, you can use the Docker engine also. Okay, there are lots of methods to run this, and for the Docker Compose you have to use the Docker Compose.yml file, and it is like here. Okay, sorry, here. Here you are taking finding that the Docker Compose.yml files, and you have to come in this particular path and use the Docker. If you configured with the Docker Compose.yml, you have to configure with this all the same things. Here is the Mesos-Master, here is a Zookeeper, here is a Mesos-Slave. So I'll tell you in another video about this. And here now with this you can up all the services by using the Docker Compose.ymls by the single command. But now in this video I am using the manual methods to up all the services by manually, so that we can build the infrastructure. Okay, by a sound. If you are not a noob, because this is the process like a noob, and if you want to configure through all the things with the some resource pooler, uh, so just like an Ansible or Chef, so you can pull the Docker Compose YAML file and some commands, and it will run all the applications directly on your server. So it is very related to that DevOps profile. So now Docker run minus IT minus 3. Okay, sorry. So first you have to run the Zookeeper Docker run itd Zookeeper. So I'm not taking that much time, so you have to, I will upload the commands. or you can use this to docker run -3 -p. So what will the -3 do? It's detach my console with uh, this CLI mod. So when I run the docker run, it will run the applications like a Zookeeper, and it will run the applications by Zookeeper, and it will take me to inside of that application. So I don't want to go inside of that Zookeeper, so I'm using the D command, which is a detach to the container, and P for the port number, and hyphen hyphen name is equal to the Zookeeper. Means I have mentioned the name of this container as a Zookeeper. So do mention the versions which is you installed. Okay, so I'm using this, and here we go. How to check the versions? You can use the Docker images. Here you will get the latest versions. So either you can use directly the port, because I know the latest versions, and it will take you there, or either you can directly mention the Zookeeper if you have the latest packages. Okay, Docker base for the running process. Here I am getting it the Zookeeper 3.4.1, the Docker entry point. Okay, 36 seconds created, and status 34 seconds. Available as Zookeeper. This one you can use the Docker inspect Zookeeper, and it will take me inside of this. Here you are getting the particular the IP address is unsigned to this sandbox. Host IP is 00. I didn't mention the host IP, but the default port of Zookeeper is 2181. Okay, the default port of Zookeeper is 2181. So here I also mentioned the port number of if you run the Docker, you have to mention the port number on which do you want to run it. So I'm using the default port. Now this is the time to run the Mesos-Master. So here are the command. So what is going on here? So here the docker run itd, it will take me to the inside of that, and then detach to the container, and hyphen name is Mesos-Master. The port number I am here mentioning the IP of my Docker container. How to get the IP of my particular Docker container? You can get to know. Let me. So here you are getting the 172.17.0.1. Okay, Docker 0. But yeah, this is the bridge networks which is I am using. Okay, the bridge network I am using, and this is another bridge network I have created, and these are the third bridge network I have created. So the default bridge network of my Docker container is 172.16.121.1. Okay, so if you know more details about how to create the networking in the Docker container, you will let you know in another video. I didn't upload it yet, so I will upload it to the soon. Here you are getting the link I am creating link with this Zookeepers. Means Mesos-Masters will keep update with Zookeeper. Okay, here is the environment I have set with this Mesos ZK. Means Zookeeper is Zookeeper ID. Means Zookeeper have a default IP is my local host, and this is 2181 is the port, and slash Mesos. Okay, so here I am mentioning the another environment. Mesos QRM is one for my Mesos master, because this is only the one Mesos master, there is no another one. So either Mesos cluster is the Docker compose, I'm using the Docker Compose cluster here. You can use the Docker also. Hyphen e Mesos hostname. I have mentioned the Mesos hostname to the same with this. If you didn't mention the same hostname as an IP, then it will trigger you an error of failed to the connection IP and that particular port number and retrying again and again. If you mention this, I had found after lots of troubleshooting. So don't forget to do these things. Hyphen e Mesos work. So Mesos working directories where temp Mesos. Okay. So Mesos log directory is where log Mesos. Okay. So I'm using the Mesos-Sphere Mesos-Masters version 1.4.1 as previously I have mentioned. So keep the enter. And this is the image ID which is sorry, this is my container ID which is created. Okay, so check through the Docker PS. Here you are getting the same, this minimal number of characters here, 2057. So in this IP, this is the default port of my Mesos-Masters, and it is done. Okay, so now the time is for the Mesos-Slaves. So Mesos-Master is created, so now it is time for Mesos-Slaves. So here I have the command. Yeah, so here you are getting this. So yeah, so here the Docker name is Mesos-Slave and the IP the same thing. So I'm changing the port of Mesos-Slaves here, 5051, link Zookeeper. Okay, and another link with Mesos-Master. So Mesos-Slaves keep to be looking for the Mesos-Master, and here the some environment I have set the Mesos-Master is Zookeeper 2.81 Mesos, and again I have set the environment of Mesos control. So this is Docker, and here the Mesos port is 5051 for this, and Mesos resources port is uh, this one. So if I have assigning the frameworks, so it will assign the port from this, and here the Mesos host names it should be the same as this. Okay, so Mesos working directory is same, Mesos log, and this is the same. This is the command if you are using the another container means uh, okay, so you can use this command on another server also. You can use these commands if you have created the network, and I'm using the different IP over here. Okay, so here I'm using the same IP, so no need to mention these again and again. Okay, but I'm using these commands to let you know if you are using the networking. Okay, so you have to mention all this environment over here. Okay, so it's done. Now the created. So I'm mentioning the same thing again and again, so you no need to mention these things again. You can use uh, the link, this one, and this one, this one, and this one, and this volume. Okay, so now check Docker PS. My Mesos-Slaves is also running. Okay, good. Now this is time to run the marathon. So to run the marathon, I've already started creating. So here the Docker run IT hyphen name marathon port number default port of marathon is 8080 link Zookeeper. Okay, it will check the update from the Zookeeper link with the Mesos-Master. Okay, it will check the update from the Mesos-Master also, and it will check from the Zookeeper. So why the marathon is linking with the Zookeeper and the Mesos-Master? So Zookeeper will let you know if the marathon is down, if any of the services from the Mesos-Slave is down or any Mesos-Master is down, it will tell you through the Zookeeper. And okay, so why it is using the Mesos-Master? Mesos-Master is basically used for if you are deploying an applications through the marathon. Okay, so it will link with the Mesos-Master, and it will check all the error logs and all you can configure through the Mesos UI and the marathon. Also you can scale the application through the marathon, and you can even do the same thing. So here link is the entry point of this is bin start. Okay, for the marathon, and environment is set for Zookeeper is this one, and Zookeeper and another one is 2181. So here the one thing is wrong, this execute. You need to mention as a Mesos. Okay, sorry. This is the version of my marathon. So all the services running on my server now need to check it. You can use the call command to check call 172.16.121.5050. Okay, it's taking time here. Sorry. It's my mistake. I am noob. Yeah. So you are getting this HTML file, the default HTML file of Mesos. Okay. So there is no default page of marathon. Okay. So it's loading the same thing. You have to enter in the server, open your browser. Yeah. So yeah, this is the IP of that Mesos. The the leader is 172.16.2 121.15050. Here is the leader is just like one Mesos slave, oh sorry, Mesos master, which is in standby mode, which is already in standby mode. Which is in here in standby mode. So here is this is the leader. Okay, so I'm using the one Mesos-Master. So for me, this is the leader only, and this is taking all the services. So these are in the standby mode. So it will tell you here which is the leader now. Okay, so what is the cluster name of that, what is the version, and what is the build name we are using, and started how much time before, and ended at how much time before. Okay, so there is an activated services which is an agents. This is the my slave. I have only a one slave, so it is taking me as an activated agent is like one. Okay, okay. These are the resources I have. I'm having one CPU, 98.5985 MB, 12.6 GB in disk. Okay, and this is my ideal. Also, I can assign from this. Okay, and now it is time to check my marathon. 172.161.1 marathon. So this is my marathon, and there is no new application here. You can use the create application, mention and the application name, marathon job, memory, the minimal memory require, the disk. Okay, the instance you need, and the command echo I am marathon here, and save this to abc.txt file. Okay, create an application. It is deploying, and soon it will deploy it. Okay, it is in waiting state. Oh my god, it is delayed. So here I have issue with this. I need to check out what is the problem. Um, Later it will. Okay, you can use the JSON file also. You can use this also. Okay, so how to use JSON? Here is the JSON mode. Okay, you have to mention the ID. You have to mention the ID, CMD. What is the command you want to run? CPU, memory, disk, instances, everything. Okay, cancel. And how to scale any application. So you have to suspend this first because there is an error in scaling. So it will suspend here scale, and you can scale to any number of instances you want to scale, and it is again deploying. Okay, 3 unscheduled, so I hope it will also not run. Yeah, but constraint dependency label CPUs, memory, disk space, network host, port 10,000. It is taking the port by default 10,000. Okay, so I will tell you in another video how to deploy an application. First I have to figure out what is going on here, so it will lead to increase the size of my application. So in the deployment there is nothing. Okay, I have to roll back. Destroy. There's a one instance. Okay, no deployment. So you are done with this. Okay, there is no GUI for Zookeeper, and there is no GUI for Mesos-Slave. So you have the Mesos-Masters, and here you are getting this. This is my agent ID. This is the complete information about unreserved reservation role 98 12.6. This is the component framework. So here I'm getting all the details which I have run to the tasks. Okay, the latest one is I've created the latest one is down. Okay, I've created the three instances through the marathon, and here is the marathon job. It is failed, but no such file or directory. Okay, I am not able to. Okay, so that is not running, so that's why. Okay, but I am getting complete log. Whatever happening in the marathon, it will telling me the complete details of that. There is a command executor tasks. Okay, echo sh minus c echo I am here. So okay, here is the problem. So I'm coming back with this complete details. Okay, so here are the roles you can define, offers. Okay, maintenance, and here is the frameworks. Whatever the frameworks you are deploying on a particular application, these frameworks, it will be showing here the active frameworks. The name is marathon. Okay, and inactive frameworks over here and the completed frameworks over here. You can find either using the find command the marathon. So here this is not the long list, so it is not taking that. So thanks for watching, and don't forget I'm uploading my next video related to the how to deploy applications on marathon and how to configure all the things. Thank you for watching, and please do watch related videos if you have any query.